What is up, Raveraide fam? Welcome to another episode of the Raveraide podcast with your host, Tyler Hardy. And as always, I just want to take a moment to express my overwhelming love and gratitude for each and every single one of you guys who tune in on a daily and weekly basis to talk about all things Raveraide and the movement that we're creating here to help expand human consciousness and make the world a better place through our products and our education, everything that we're doing here as a company. And I'm just grateful to be spending this time with you today. So, what we're going to be talking about today, we've been going through a lot of different changes and a lot of growth as of late in regards to the company. We just went to Imagine Music Festival, had an amazing time. I did a recap last week on that. And then immediately after that, we went up to Colorado to Red Rocks to spend some time with Big Gigantic for Rowdy Town 10, which is their 10-year anniversary, for their show that they've been putting on at Red Rocks. And just a lot of crazy things happened in this past week in regards to the business, the vision, what we're creating, why we're creating it, who we're serving. Just a huge, alignment shift again, and that's one of the amazing things about the human experience is that we are always changing and evolving, and the reason and the purpose for what we're doing is always changing, and that applies to you in every single thing that you're doing in your life. You have changes that come about as a result of different levels of perspective and experience, and that's kind of what this was over the past week. Just going to Imagine, and then specifically Red Rocks, which I'm going to talk about today, just because it's been a lot to process. It's been really, really awesome just because I see the vision more clearly for what it is that we're creating, and the fact that we've been playing kind of small as a company. And I'm going to talk about that as well later in the episode. But so getting into it, to give you guys a little bit of a backstory here, what ended up happening was about a month ago, I would say, someone from Big Gigantic's team had reached out to us, Becca, and she saw us on the For You page on Instagram, and she messaged us and said, hey, I'm already using, a different product. I really am interested in what you guys are, creating, and I really, want to try it out. I know the team might benefit from it. I love that it's in our community. And so what ended up happening was we sent out a care package to the Big Gigantic team, and we didn't hear anything for about a week or so. And then I got a message from Becca saying, hey, what are you guys creating here? This stuff is incredible. Jeremy loves it. The team loves it. What are you guys making? How do you guys do this? And I hopped on a phone call with her and explained more about, our mission, the fact that we don't use natural flavors. We don't use a bunch of BS toxins in our product and dyes and fillers and artificial ingredients, just like everybody else in the market. And that's a big reason as to why they were seeing such a big benefit and result from it. And so what ended up happening is we have a conversation. We start talking more about some ideas and potentials, and they invite us up to Red Rocks to, hang out with the team, meet the little G's, add some value. So obviously coming off of a weekend at Imagine, it was a back-to-back thing, and I knew it was going to be a pretty crazy week. And all in all, we ended up driving about 60 hours or so, give or take. And, it's a lot of travel, a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts, but the team executed everything perfectly, and I'm super grateful for that. But so we ended up heading up to Red Rocks, and that's on a Thursday. So we get there Friday. On day one, we're able to meet Jeremy and Dom at the meetup for the Little G's. So the Little G's are a group of people that are like uber fans of Big Gigantic, and they come out, and their whole job is just to cultivate an enhanced experience for their community and all the people who came to the show. So they had all these cool things set up at their booth. They're, interacting, had boards for people to sign for Jeremy and Dom, just a lot of really cool things, right? And so their whole purpose of what they were there for was to volunteer their time to, enhance people's experience. And we ended up putting some Raveraide around. We ended up donating about 600 sticks to pass out to people that came by the booth and were in the crowd, and it was just a really great experience. And we knew that there would be a positive ROI there, and getting to spend some time with Big Gigantic, and we're huge advocates of what they do, because there is a pocket of artists that are super conscious, high vibrational people who want to make the world a better place, who want to make the community a better place. And without a doubt, Big Gigantic falls into that bucket as one of the main, artist groups that are focused on that. And that's really, what we're all about here at Raveraide. We're about expanding consciousness. We're about helping people see the truth. We're about helping people optimize their health and their well-being, so that way they can have those transcendental breakthroughs, those big moments of change and perception shifts, so then that way they can make the changes in their life that they know that they need to make, and so that way they can actualize that better version of themselves. And that's what we're here to do. So they're very in alignment with everything that we're working on. And so night one went amazing, incredible set. First time seeing Big Gigantic. I've always missed them. I missed them at Electric Forest because we had to leave early to catch a flight. And it's just one of those things where, I've listened to their music, but, experiencing them live, especially at Red Rocks for my first Red Rocks show, was just absolutely incredible. And it's something that I will cherish forever. Is one of those things that, they jumped to near the top of my list, if not number one on my list for the artists that I enjoy listening to at this point, which is, saying a lot, because I've got some really favorite artists that mean a lot to me, but they really have great showmanship. You can tell that they've cultivated a beautiful community, inside of, their music. And it's been really cool to, see that and experience that. Cause, as you have been in the community for a long time, you've seen everyone multiple times, you see the same thing over and over again. And, there's some alteration and changes, but it's nice seeing a new artist that you haven't seen before. And especially one that's like really kind of took the cake and really, exceeded all expectations, especially, for what we do here at Raveraide and all that. So it's really cool to have that experience. And so, night one went really well. Night two, our big focus for why we went out there is we wanted to sit down with them and, let them ask questions and answer the questions and see, what we could do about, helping them push their mission forward, helping us push our mission forward, all these good things, and coming together and creating a win-win relationship, because that's one thing that we're really big on here at Raveraide. And everything that we do is everything has to be centered and grounded in a win-win relationship. So everything that we do, the main intention is to make sure that we are delivering a win-win relationship, where we win, anyone we work with wins, the community wins, the planet wins, every single person can win, because that's a paradigm that we've been stuck in for a long time, is this division of like someone has to win and someone has to lose and has to come at their expense. And in reality, when you live in a state of more, infinite possibility, you realize that everyone can win. Everyone can prosper from the events and actions that take place, from the things that we do as a business. And so, our big thing is we want to make sure that we uphold that through and throughout. So our big thing is we wanted to meet with them, and we talked to Jeremy. Becca was able to get us backstage. We were able to hang out, in the green room, which is really cool, especially considering it's like the first Red Rock show and all that. So it was really cool to, have that experience and talk to them. And, this is when things got really, really fascinating. And I'll back up a little bit because I did miss one really important piece of this, because I did mention that I was going to talk about synchronicities. And synchronicities are this thing that, over the years I've experienced thousands of them, thousands and thousands. And I think the more that we become conscious and the more that we become aware, we realize that every single thing is a synchronicity, and that every single thing is actually, guiding us towards, our greatest potential, but we have to have the awareness to look for it. And so in my previous post last week, I made a comment about the fact that I felt like the seeds that we had been planting for the past year and a half in the company were starting to bloom and starting to sprout in the community, and we're starting to essentially break the dirt. So I was starting to see all the things that we've been doing and, all the sacrifice and commitment that we've made to the community start to pay off. And right when we get there, one of the members of the Big G team had a bag of these little sprouts. They're like little pin sprouts. So they had like a little alligator clip on it, and you could clip it to different things. And they're like, here, do you want one of these? And just the serendipity and the synchronicity in that moment was so powerful to me, of okay, we're exactly where we need to be. What are the odds that of all the little knickknacks and items and toys that they bought these little sprouts? And I had just been constantly for the past week since we had gotten back from Imagine making comments about, oh man, it feels like things are starting to sprout. People are starting to see what we're doing. We're starting to be recognized for how great our product is and what we're doing for the community. And it was one of those things that was so beautiful, and it just really set the tone for the weekend, and just so many different synchronicities. And so going back, I want to make sure I mentioned that before I got into the main, piece of this recap from this weekend because it was just the most incredible weekend that I've ever had. Um, we ended up sitting down and meeting with Jeremy and Becca for about 25 minutes and talking before the show. We didn't have a lot of time with them, and I'm super grateful that they took the time to do that because they didn't have to, and they had so much family and friends and people there supporting them, and for them to make sure that they followed through on what they said they were going to do, and us coming up, for that reason really meant a lot to us. And so it was really interesting because Jeremy, he loves the product. He said so many amazing things. I need to get a testimonial from him. But he seemed like he doesn't, drink coffee, doesn't, he just wakes up and drinks the Raveraide every day, and he really, really enjoys it. And it's really made a huge difference for him leading up to the show because they've been burning the candle at both ends for the past couple of weeks to really getting this ready. And he said it's really helped him. And he had drank one right before they played as well. He's like, I've been wiped out all day. I just drank one. I feel great. And so, he has nothing but great things to say about the product. And we started talking, and he's like, why don't you guys have this everywhere? He's like, why is this not in stores? Why is this not, serving everyone? This isn't just about the rave community. This isn't just about, this community in particular. This is about everyone. Everyone needs this product. The moms need this product. The athletes need this product. All these different things. And he was just reflecting back to us the things that we know and the things that we're going to be doing here in the very near future. But it was like that confirmation from the universe and that synchronistic moment of him saying that. And then we started talking about, some different options on things that we could do together. And, I won't go too far into detail because I don't want to, let the cat out of the bag, nor has anything really been confirmed yet. But it's one of those things where we had a moment, and it was me and Jake, our chief of formulation, sitting together in this room with this man who really, up until a couple of weeks ago, really knew nothing about us and knew nothing about our company. And he pointed out every single thing that we have been working on developing and improving about our company. He brought up every single point as if he's worked at Raveraide from the very beginning, as if he and I had a conversation before that meeting and said, hey, these are the things that we're working on. He had the awareness and the consciousness to notice, hey, this is how you would optimize your product. Hey, this is, one thing that would need to change, for us to, feel really comfortable with everything being perfect and us, sharing it with our audience. And it was just one of those things where as I was listening to it unfold, it was like, one of those moments I like to talk about where I've had a lot of these where it literally feels like God is speaking through others to you, which is common. It happens every single day. It's just our job to recognize that it's actually happening. It's the universe speaking through us to others because we're all one and the same. And he was reflecting back to us all the things that we knew that we needed to do, all the things that we need to do to improve and really make sure that this is the top of the line product in every single way, shape, and form. So that way it's benefiting planet, it's benefiting people, it's benefiting communities, it's benefiting the world at large. So that way we can help as many people as possible. And so, we sit and we talk, we answer the questions, we explain, what we're all about with neurochemistry and helping people with mental health advocacy and all the things that are really important to us. We spoke about nonprofit work. We spoke about all the things that, we're passionate about and the things that, we really think we could do to help, improve the Big G brand as well as, the Raveraide brand, because we know that if we can deliver great products to their audience, then we win as a byproduct. It's that win-win mentality versus, hey, you know what, let's throw a crappy product together. Let's throw some shit at their audience, hopefully they take it, and then we make some money on the back end, right, with no recourse or recollection or thought about, hey, how's this going to affect people's health, how's this going to affect the Big G brand, how is this going to affect Raveraide. All these things we've taken into consideration prior to, because we want people to have the most ideal experience with our company, with our products, with our education, with our mission, our focus. We want people to know that when they invest their time, energy, money, and effort into Raveraide or anything that we do, they know that their resources are going to a good place, because far too often we have all these companies in the world who are profit first, and all that matters is they, make money on you, and they don't care about the planet, they don't care about you, they don't care about your health, they don't care about your well-being. And I just promised myself that no matter what the cost was, we wouldn't allow that to happen. That isn't what we would be known for here at Raveraide, and we're upholding that more and more. And so we wrap up the conversation, super grateful to have time with them. Such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Such a moment of, you know, realizing, hey, you want to play in the big leagues, you want to do these great things that you guys talk about doing. Here's what you have to do. Here's the alignment. You know, and when I say like these alignment shifts, they're super small things. They're not, hey, your product is crap and you need to do this, right? This is super small details, but those details are what makes companies go from good to remarkable. And that's what we want to do here. That's the type of quality and service that we want to provide to our community on a daily basis in every single way. And so those things, we already knew them in our head, like, okay, we got to do these things, we need to make these changes, and we're working our way towards those things, because it's not always as simple as just, hey, this is the fix, right? There's a lot of research and due diligence and sourcing and all these things that we have to do to make sure that we're doing it right, and that we're not shooting ourselves in the foot or causing a massive carbon footprint, or all these different things that are really not ideal for the world in the sake of just making some money, you know? And so we wrap up the meeting, and immediately as we're walking out, you know, of the green room, you know, Jake and I probably have the best conversation that we've ever had as friends and business partners since we've known each other over this past year and a half. And it was literally just like, okay, there was no, you know, ego, there was no being, you know, offended, any of that stuff. We were just taking everything that we had heard and said, okay, what do we got to do? How do we got to do it? And I think a lot of that comes back down to a good lesson I'll teach in this is, you know, no attachments to the outcome. We went into the meeting knowing like, hey, whatever said is said, you know, whatever, you know, positive there is, whatever negative there is, like whatever it is, like we're just looking to improve, right? And so, you know, not being attached to it being a certain way. I think someone who is super like ego attached to things being a certain way would have taken some of the things that we already knew needed to be fixed or improved upon. I say improved upon is probably the better word, you know, and been, oh, wow, well, you don't know this, you don't know that, blah, 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 whatever, right? None of that happened whatsoever. We looked at the situation like, okay, what do we got to do and how can we implement this as quickly as possible in the best possible way? So we started talking about, you know, all the different things that were brought up. So then that way it's like, okay, here's the solution. This is what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to make the change. This is who we need to call immediately. Literally sat at the top of the Red Rocks together as everyone's enjoying the show right before it comes on, the opening acts. We're sitting there typing out every single detail, every single note from the meeting, so then that way we can make sure we didn't miss a single thing. That way we can start reaching out on the way home and start getting everything figured out and lined up. And so it was just one of these most beautiful experiences that I got to have with one of my really good friends, of seeing like the emotional commitment and the investment towards us making this happen and making, you know, improvements to really solidify that we are not here to play around. We are not here to be an average mediocre company. What is up, you guys? Just wanted to hop on really quickly and just share a little bit about Raveraide, the product itself. I know a lot of you guys are new to the podcast, might be new to Raveraide itself, and I just wanted to take a moment, because I don't always talk a lot about the product, because a lot of the focus of this podcast is just personal development, spirituality, and everything else. But, you know, I wanted to highlight for a moment how special this product really is and what makes our product different than everything else in the, you know, market. Because, you know, when we started this company, we saw a huge need for improvement, and we think that a lot of the, you know, hydration stick companies out there did a good job at moving people away from those high sugar, you know, sports drinks. But in reality, you know, there's a lot of corners that got cut. And so when we started this company here at Raveraide, we made a promise and a commitment that no matter what the cost, we would make sure that we made the very best product that we could possibly make. And, you know, we're here to deliver that. And so I want to talk about, you know, specifically our, you know, Superberry product. And the Lady Lemonade and the Superberry are very, very similar in a lot of ways. But I want to talk about, you know, what makes our product different and why it's so special and what our mission is with this product and our intention. So the big thing that we wanted to do is we want to make sure that we had highly efficacious doses of all of your essential vitamins for the day. Your Bs, your B12, which is methylcobalamin, which is, you know, scientifically shown to be, you know, more absorbable for more people, because a lot of people have genetic mutations that make it where other types of B12 are not as absorbed as well in the body. So we want to make sure that we use the most efficacious, highly dosed, you know, version of the B12. We also use, you know, a very high dose of vitamin C, as well as vegan vitamin D. So we use vegan vitamin D because we want to make sure that we, you know, we're able to serve all of our vegan friends and our family members who, have, dietary preferences. We didn't want to limit our options on the product and what we created. So all of your efficacious doses of all of your vitamins on a daily basis. And then we use a proprietary cell salt technology that we created here at Raveraide to help with rapid rehydration, because we understand how important it is to make sure that you're balancing levels of salt in your body and getting the right types of salt. So then that way you can rehydrate your cells and stay mentally clear and focused and hydrated and keep your body functioning at its optimal levels possible. And so with a lot of brands out there, they use a very basic cell salt technology. They use very basic salts that, probably help hydrate a little bit, but not to the full extent of what our product is able to do for people. Some of the other added benefits is we added some zinc into the super berry. And the reason we did that is this is our immune blend. This is something that we wanted to make sure that was optimized for immune health. So then that way we could really put you in a place where you have confidence in knowing whether you're, at a music festival and you're sleep deprived and all the things that go on at music festivals, your immune system's supported and protected as much as possible. Or if you're just someone who wants to take good care of their health and make sure that they're not getting sick on a regular basis, all these ingredients are meant to contribute to high quality levels of immune support. And so the other things that we use in this product as well are 2 different types of magnesium. We do this for muscle tension. We do this for anxiety relief. We do this for, a lot of, noted benefits, because magnesium actually helps carry out about 360 processes in the body. And so when we're magnesium deficient, our body's not operating at its optimal frequency. And as a result of that, it puts us in a place where we're not living, in our full potential. And so the big thing that really separates Raveraide from every other company out there and really puts us more into the biohacking optimization side of things is our nootropic blend that we put into the product. And we did this for a number of reasons. One, we did this because we wanted to help people gain a level of clarity and focus without beating up on their adrenal glands, because there's so many stimulants out there that keep taxing our bodies and destroying, our adrenal glands and putting us into this state of fight or flight from a, physical, mental and spiritual level that's keeping us from living at our full potential. So we use ingredients such as alpha GPC, huperzine to help out with giving you that nice, tunnel of focus through acetylcholine receptor sites. And then, pairing that with the L-theanine that we use, which helps, release more GABA into the bloodstream to help relax the body without sedating it. The combination of those 2 things, what that's going to do for you is it's going to put you in a place where you're going to be able to have that clear focus and the elevated feeling without feeling any anxiety or jitters or, all the things that are associated to stimulants. We didn't want to do that to people. We don't believe in overstimulating the body. We believe that flow states are the way to create, your highest potential. And then we also throw in things like L-glutamine, acetyl-L-carnitine, which are amino acids that help out with muscle recovery. Acetyl-L-carnitine has also been shown in scientific studies to help out with neuroprotection and neurogenesis, along with all the other, nootropics that we put in the product. This product really does help a lot with neurogenesis, which is the formation of new brain cells and neurons in the brain. And it's amazing what our brains and bodies can do to heal when we put it into a proper environment. And so those are some of just the main benefits of what we created here at Raveraide. And as you can see, it's way more than just a hydration product. This is a product that's designed for overall wellness and health, inside and outside of music festivals, in your day-to-day life, at the gym, in your exercise, while you're hiking, while you're doing yoga. It doesn't really matter. It's anytime that your body needs, replenishment from sweat or activity, you can use this product. My favorite personal time to take it is in the morning. And that's right when I love to take it the most. It really sets the tone for my day in a beautiful way. And the last thing that I really want to talk about here, and this is the thing that is the number one differentiator between Raveraide and every single thing else on the market. And what that is that we do not use natural flavors. We will not use natural flavors, and we refuse to. We also refuse using artificial dyes, sweeteners, flavoring, any of that stuff. We don't use those things. What we use specifically in the superberry is we use real extracts. Again, real extracts from the berries in which we flavor the product with. The blueberry, the elderberry, the acai, all that stuff is specifically designed to help out, one, with your immune system because of all the anthocyanins that are in it, as well as the antioxidants. You're getting a massive boost of all these things that are really amazing for your immune system just from the things that we use to flavor the product with. The way that, creation and God would have wanted it made. It's from nature. And that's why we created the product in this way. We don't use natural flavors. We don't use, these things that have, harmful chemical additives and cuts and all these things that we can't account for. So we're not going to put it in our product and potentially risk your health as a result of that. And that right there is what really separates our product, is what we use. In the Liddy lemonade, we use real essential oil extracts or distilled essential oils to actually make the flavoring. So that way the lemon that you're drinking is really lemon. It's not some chemical that was made in a lab to, mimic lemon, which, in a lot of ways, isn't really good for you, when you do the research. And so, when we started this company, our mission was to create the best product that we could possibly make. And it's exceeded the expectations of what I've ever had. And we continue to find ways to make it better. And we have more optimizations that we're working on and things that we're looking to improve upon with this product. And I just want you to know that we created this product for you with the planet in mind, with your health in mind. And so in that way, you can really get the most out of your life, because it's all about the consciousness movement that we're creating here at Raveraide to help you actualize the best version of yourself. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And so, what we decided to do is that we created a special discount code for you if you're a listener of the podcast. So use the code Raveraide Podcast at checkout for a discount. So in that way, I know that, you heard this commercial and, this is where you're getting your product from. So that way we can make sure we're taking good care of everybody who listens to this podcast, because podcasting is a major, passion of mine, because it allows me to use my voice, which is definitely a gift that I have and something that I, love to share with others, and, my life journey and my experiences and everything that I've learned over my, short time here. So, be sure to use code Raveraide Podcast at checkout. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. We'll get back to the episode. And like I was saying, we're here to let people know that we're not here to play around. We're here to make the world a better place. And we're here to make sure that we're prioritizing people, planet, and then profits, or planet, people, profits. Because we know that when we take good care of the planet, when we take good care of people, what that's going to do is it's going to create healed, actualized human beings that have a level of genius that's inside of each and every single one of us that can solve a lot of the world's problems, that can solve a lot of the things that are keeping us stuck in a lower vibrational frequency. And we're here to lead as an example for not only businesses of the future, but people, in their day-to-day life, for helping themselves actualize the best version of themselves. And so, as we're sitting at the top of the Red Rocks, like I mentioned before the commercial, we're writing down every single thing that needs to happen. We're writing down every single, thing that's, got to change, every single thing that we got to optimize, every single thing. And it was just like, again, this alignment check of like, hey, you want to do these great things? You want to serve the community in the best way? Here's how you do it. You already know all the things. You already know what you need to do. And that's the beauty of what I'll say about your life, in particular, is a lot of people are resistant to change. But here's the thing, is you already know what you need to do. Your soul already knows what needs to happen. Your consciousness already knows what needs to happen. And it's that resistance or that unwillingness to do the work that's keeping you from the highest potential of your being. And I encourage you, I implore you to not resist and to surrender to that full potential and allow yourself to create what it is that you're meant to create and be who you're meant to be. And so it was really a beautiful experience of having that reflection of like, you guys aren't missing a beat. You guys know the few optimizations that need to be made to make this into the biggest, best company possible. Now it's just time to do it. Now it's just time to take affirmative action and bridge that gap and manifest it with creation and be in synchronization with the most ideal outcome. Because, Jake and I talked about this after the fact, because it was a really like special moment. Like, I hope that you can, feel, what I'm saying in regards to like how beautiful of a moment this was for us, especially as building this business and all the sacrifice that we've made, is that, to hear someone who doesn't have anything to do with us, but is in alignment, who's on a level of consciousness that is similar to what we're experiencing at this moment, reverberate back to us all the things that we know that we need to optimize to get the product and the offering and the education perfect with what we're doing, every single detail. It made us feel really good. We took that as a positive, that irregardless of the outcome of, future partnerships or whatever it is that we're doing, that we knew what we needed to do and what we need to change and what we get to improve upon with our resources that we're gaining to be able to make the product as ideal as possible and get it to as many people as possible. So regardless of the outcome, no matter what, we've taken this as a positive and we've looked at it as if it's like, hey, regardless of, whatever happens, we're already a better company. We're better humans because we took the time to do this. We gained so much valuable insight. We got so much confirmation that things are, going in the right direction, and that, we have something very special on our hands here that we get to build for not only the EDM community, but for the world at large. This product is for the world. It's meant to be used on a daily basis. It's meant to enhance the quality of life that you're experiencing. And so we end up wrapping up the Red Rock show, night 2, absolutely phenomenal. It was the best, probably the best show that I've ever seen, really. It's like up there when I think about like peak moments and core memories of my EDM experience. I would say Zed at EDC 2018, my very first time. Let's see. Electric Forest this last year, that's obviously up there. LS Dream at that set. And then this, that was like probably the top 3. If I had to pick 3, that's like, without a doubt, those are it. And this one probably took the cake. It's up there with Zed for EDC. That's how big of a deal it was for us and me, and what I experienced and how it healed and changed and transformed me in the way that I see the business and the way I see everything. I realized how small we were playing. I realized how, we haven't really pushed as hard as we possibly can to get this product out to every single person. And it's one of those things that, we do the best we can with what we have to work with. And as we continue to grow, we'll be able to do more and more and more, but we can always do more right now with what we have to work with. And I think that's something that's important that I want to share with you. It's a good lesson is, you have access to so many resources, and if you're not using them to your full capacity, then that's an expression of lack of gratitude for the experience that you're having and what you're getting to do with your purpose. And so I'm committed even more than ever to, get this worked out. So then that way we can, continue to be great, even greater than we are now, and continue to be better than we are now. And the more that, we keep evolving ourselves, the more that we keep creating perfection inside of ourselves as humans, the more that our external reality starts to reflect that. And so we start getting, easier solutions. We start seeing the path more clearly, and we're able to start actually creating, in synchronization with God and the universe. And that's when we become all, encompassing, all empowered and all being. So then that way we can actually, really harness our full gifts and actualize those gifts and materialize those into products and companies and creations and services and nonprofits and all these beautiful things that the world needs right now more than ever. The world needs your gifts. And I say this on every single episode. It needs your gifts now more than ever. It needs you to heal more now than ever. It needs you to be you now more than ever. And so that's what we're here to help guide you through and help you become in any way that we can. And so, we wrap up Red Rocks, incredible show, best week, one of the best weeks of my entire life between Imagine, Red Rocks, just so amazing and beautiful. And the synchronicities were just insane. Every single moment was so perfect. Even on the way home, I decided to drive, about 4 hours after the fact because I wanted to put us in striking distance of getting home within one day so we could get back to work, because we were fired up when we left. We were so energized and just ready to get to work. And so it's crazy. Like I went to pull off to fall asleep because I was starting to get pretty tired, and I pulled off into like this exit, and it ended up being kind of a sketchy place. And I was like, yeah, we're definitely not going to be sleeping here tonight. But it was interesting because I pulled into a gas station and I made this U-turn, and I didn't turn all the way, so I had to put it in reverse. And the second that the lights hit where I had to turn, it said, for the gas station, it said 10-year anniversary. Right. And I wake Jake up. I was like, look at this. This is funny. Like even these small little details, like that's when, you're really paying attention to all the synchronicities and all the magic that life is actually creating around you, is you see the smallest little details, like, oh, you pulled off, and then you pulled in front of this sign, 10-year anniversary. Right. And so we sleep, wake up, keep driving. We're already working on the way back on like what the solutions are going to be, what we're going to be doing, just really chomping at the bit to get back to work. And then, as we're driving through this town, I end up seeing another gas station. I look to my right, and sometimes like when you're really like in flow, your awareness will pull you to look at something that, has, you're like, why did I look at that? And then it has a meaning later down the road. Interestingly enough, I look to my right as we're driving past this gas station. It literally says Big G's gas station. And so the universe is always speaking to you. God is always speaking to you at all times. It's your job to gain the awareness, to be able to see the compounding of synchronicities. And the more and more you become aware, kind of like what Robert Edward Grant said, he's like, the magic in life is stringing synchronicities together. The more conscious you become, you start stringing more of it together. You start stringing more of, the magic of life together. So early on when I was experiencing synchronicities, it would be like one here, and then I'd go days, and then there's another one, and then I go days, and then there's another one, I'd go days. And over time, through meditation and all the things that we employ here at Raveraide, by becoming more actualized and taking better care of our health, we become more aware, we become more energized, we become more, tapped in and connected to creation. So then that way we can actually, start to see that there's synchronicities going on all the time. It wasn't that they weren't happening. It's that I wasn't paying attention and I wasn't being aware of everything that was happening in between, when in reality there's always synchronicities going on. There's always divinely perfect moments that are happening. It's our job to tap into those and work with those to create what it is that we're creating in our life. And so we get home and we immediately get to work. Jake starts busting out a bunch of different stuff, start reaching out to different CEOs of companies that we know of, to get some resources and information around some of the modifications that we're making to the product and modifications that we're making to the packaging and our offering and everything that we're doing. And we just immediately had this huge quantum leap of there's something we've been working on for about a year now that we've really wanted to, optimize about our product, and we landed on it, within a day. It was boom, it was this activation of this important component of really optimizing our product and going to the next level. We figured it out, for one of our products, and we were just so stoked. I've been sampling this version of the Raveraide for the past few days, and I feel incredible. My verbal fluency is better, my energy levels are better, my mental clarity, my focus, my relaxation, no anxiety. I just feel incredible. And it made me realize that we're creating a super supplement. We're not in the hydration stick market. We are in the super supplement, biohacking, human optimization supplement space. And that's what we need to be known for. And that's what, this is all about. It's about getting consciousness out to the entire world. It's about becoming more aware and healing our traumas and becoming what it is that we're meant to become. So then that way, we start to see the real truth of life and the beauty that life is. And we see those synchronicities in every single moment, those serendipities. So then that way you start actually living a life that's worth living and not living on autopilot on a subconscious program of low vibrational frequency, which is what most of our planet is stuck on right now for various reasons. And I'm telling you right now that you have the power to make those changes inside and out. And a lot of it sometimes comes down to commitment. Sometimes it comes down to those alignment shifts. Sometimes it comes down to trusting in those synchronicities and that knowingness that things are going to work out for you, and knowing that things are going to work out for your highest good in ways that you could never even imagine. I never thought when we started Raveraide that I would have moments of clarity and perfect synchronicities and all the things that are happening right now. I never thought that I would experience those on this magnitude. And I know that it's just getting started. We are just at the beginning, in the infancy of this movement and this creation that we're having here. And I just, I'm so grateful for it. And I want to express that and help as many people get to that place as possible. It's my obligation and duty to do these things, because I'm just grateful to be able to have these experiences and be able to create a company that I love and the one that I know will make the world a better place. I know that if we do this right, that the world will never be the same, when we're done with it. And that's what we want. We want the improvement. We want the expansion. We want the healing. We want the liberation of human mind in every single way, shape, and form that we can create. And I know with the things that I have here and connected to source, that we can do a lot of amazing things together as a community, and we can do a lot of things that are going to benefit mankind far longer than, my expiration or, anyone else's expiration here. I want this to last, forever. I want this to be a model for change, because I'm tired of seeing the world the way that it is. I see how much beauty that there is in every single moment and every single experience. And it's always there. It's always available to us. It just takes that change in awareness, that change in perspective, that desire to be fully committed to our purpose and our path, to start seeing that on an individual level. And then imagine what happens when we bring more humans together that live at that level of frequency and that level of genius. We're going to see some massive changes in the world. So when I see all the things going on in the world, I see things getting worse before they get better. But I see the need for that perspective change, because humans only do things for two reasons, and that's for gain of pleasure and pain avoidance. And so once we have enough pain, we will make those changes towards higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of sustainability for the planet, higher levels of happiness, joy, and fulfillment, and liberation of as many people as possible on this planet. And it's going to be such a beautiful thing and a beautiful experience. And so I'm going to wrap up today's episode, guys. The last week at Red Rocks has really fired up the team. We're making massive improvements, continuing to really refine everything that we're offering to the community, and expanding outward, because we know that every single person on this planet would benefit from using our product. Their life will be better, their health will be better, their spiritual gifts will be better, their mental health will be better. We know that what we've created here is something that's going to help improve the quality of life for so many humans, and we appreciate every single one of you guys who share our mission, share our purpose, and really help us get this out there, because without you guys, it's not possible. Without the ideology of oneness, it's not possible. We're all one here, and the things that we place our time, energy, and efforts into are a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. So know that when you're supporting what we're doing here at Raveraide, you're supporting a better tomorrow for as many humans as possible who want to be involved with this. So I'm going to wrap up today's episode, guys. I love each and every single one of you guys. I hope that you found some valuable information about what we're doing here. Hopefully something resonated for you that you can integrate into your day-to-day life, because without integration, it doesn't do you any good to listen to these podcasts. I want you to take the things that resonate and feel true to you, apply them into your day-to-day life, and then actualize that and make those changes. So then that way, one day when I meet you in the future, you can talk, and we can talk about, how much of an improvement your life has been through being in the Raveraide ecosystem. That's what we want more than anything. So be sure to check us out at www.drinkraveraide.com. And we have a new version of the Liddy Lemonade coming out next month. We're basically sold out at this point. Maybe a couple units left at most, but we are working hard to get that made for you guys and improved in so many ways, shapes, and forms, so then that way you guys can continue to enjoy and love the products that you guys already love so much. So we'll talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great day. Peace.